Okay, hey guys, welcome into Football Happy Hour. Nothing like a little problem to get your episode going. Sorry, 2 minutes late. Fire me for it, guys. That's all I'm saying. Again, welcome back into the Football Happy Hour, though. Happy to have some time with my boys here. You see my homie Jack Bourgeois, Bushi up north of me there, Mayo over in the corner, Countryman down to my side. I'm going to come around the horn and have some hellos here for you guys. How you doing, Jack? I know you're excited.
Oh, I'm good. Just sleeping better, waking up a little happier, kind of in this like giddy, cheerful mood. Like it's a good feeling. It's a damn good feeling. We have football back, boys. I'm excited. I'm trying to contain myself, but I am damn excited.
Feels like pre-Christmas, right? Like, oh, Santa's coming on Thursday. Yeah, I cannot wait. Santa Claus with the frog voice, Patty Mahomes. Roy, good evening, my friend.
Good evening, Rob. Good evening, Cody, Jack. Glad to be back here after a quick vacation with the family here for Labor Day. But just to steal a little bit of thunder from Jack, it's the most wonderful time of the year. It's football season.
Roy just got demoted to the couch. He has a wife and 2 kids, guys. He just said football. Oh, goodness. It is a great time of the year, though. I know Cody can talk about that. I mean, NFL is in his Twitter handle, for God's sakes. How you doing this evening, Cody?
Oh, man, just like Jack and Roy are talking about, giddy as a schoolgirl this whole week. It's here. I feel like everybody in the business feels the same way. I am so tired of making predictions. Like, I just want some football on the field. I can't wait for Sunday. It's going to be a blast, man. I can't wait.
Exactly. Right or wrong, I want some answers to all these hot takes I've been dropping with no football action to back them up at all. So happy to get into that. As you can see here, look, guys, it's the first time we're all wearing Blitz gear. Even my guys rocking the Blitz hat, the Blitz shirt. Look at Jack looking good in the polo, Cody. Roy with the Stay Humble and Be a Blessing. You can purchase the T-shirts that the cartoon and the other chubby guy on the screen are rocking right now. You can get those at buyjack.com/collections/blitz. I don't know why I keep calling them collectibles, because I think they're wonderful. That's why. We're going to hit you like we do every week. We've got 4 topics plus an overtime. This is going to be a fun episode. Let's go ahead and get into it. Quarter number 1. And this week's first quarter, we are going to do something a little fun here. We're going to talk about a dream fantasy football league. Got a couple of parameter questions we're going to stick with, and then if we got to kill some time, I've got some back-end ones. But the most important ones are, who are a couple that you want in it, couple folks, 1 or 2, who would you like to commish the league, and what would be the winner prize and loser punishment? Everyone's favorite part of fantasy is, of course, that punishment, as long as it's not you. So, Jack, I'm going to come to you. What's your ultimate fantasy football league look like?
Oh, see, you know what's messed up about this is I was like trying to think of all these guys that I would love. Like, like you think about who is a good personality that's, a famous person, like Rob Riggle might be like a good one. Like there's a couple like comedians that are like,
Rob Riggle's taking a whole team full of Chiefs and Jimmy Garoppolo, and that's it.
Yeah. I keep reverting back to, like, I have my perfect league. Like, me and my brothers and, like, my best friends have been doing this same league since we were in, like, junior high. Like, I have it. Like, I know this is, like, super cheesy and this is, like, I'm not following the script. But I got it, man. Like, we are so mean and rude and vicious to each other. Like, it's just a great way to vent. It's the best. So, like, yeah, I would throw out there, like Bert Kreischer or, like, any comedian that you would want in your league. It's, like, just for fun, and being able to get, like, sit back and watch them harp on somebody or join the festivities. But for me, I've got it. Like, me and my buddies, my best friends that have been together for so long. Literally, we just had one of their best, or I was the best man for the bachelor party. We just put the bachelor party together this last weekend, hence the mustache. I'm sorry, I'm nostalgic like that. Like I wouldn't replace any of them.
It's okay.
Like,
Jack got horny and soft.
You know who you are.
Jack's in his feelings.
Oh, he's probably going to hear about it from that league now.
Because it's special.
We heard you, Jack.
We heard you, Jack. I love you so much, Jack. Oh, Jack.
I'm sorry.
No, I mean, but that's what it's all about, right? Fantasy football is about friends and the friendships you've made and talking trash with those guys you've been talking trash for 15 years with. So I get it. It's cool. Cody, did you do the assignment correctly?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna have to go point to one guy that's in the book, the encyclopedia we keep on promoting. MG Marcus Grant, great dude. He knows his stuff. He'll make it competitive. He'll make you laugh. So he's a guy I would want involved. And then if I want to get some jokes in or maybe something like that, I would like Bill Burr. I'm a big Bill Burr fan. He cracks me up. Even though he's been joking on his podcast lately, he can't keep up with the young cats. But that's why Burr maybe should get a copy of our book, and he could come join our league, and we can roast him, and he would have a fucking blast. So those will be my two picks.
Bill Burr would be an entertaining one. The self-deprecation and the clowning on you for every single pick in the draft. Yeah, I could definitely see that one. I'm happy with that one. Not mad at MG either, man, but I'd rather bring. I'm going to bring some crappy
Should we brag about that? Should we brag about that, Rob?
We've already went down.
We've already been
road.
there. We already had that.
We
were already in that league last year.
Name dropping. So yeah, for sure. Roy, I'm going to come to you because I bet yours probably don't party as hard as the ones I've got in my mind, man.
Oh man! So for me, I thought of two guys, and it might be off key, but the first one is got to be Frank Caliendo. Jack kind of had it with a comedian. If I'm losing to him or I take some stupid pick, I can get John Madden or John Gruden. Yeah, sign me up for that every day of the week. And we know he's a college football fan, but I'd like him to just say, all right. Matthew McConaughey, let's see him trash talk in a fantasy league with us.
Yeah, he'll pull up in his Buick, tell you all about it. I'm not mad at that. I dig the Caliendo because it's like having 100 different people in your fantasy league, right? He's sending out cameos as different people talking trash every single week. That's got to be pretty dope. So
yeah, I like that one.
I'm not mad at that one. That one's one of those sneaky picks where Roy's like, haha, I found a workaround on the rules. I'm bringing 100 people here. I'm going to start off with Pat McAfee, dude. Pat Mac, just for the sheer party of it. I'm not quite sure how he plays fantasy football. I saw him play Madden. That was pretty trash. Love you, Pat, but that was trash. And then the second one is more so for the fantasy draft. I'm going to invite Post Malone because he's going to come over with an entire, 16-wheel truck full of Bud Light. And that's just how Post Malone travels. So yeah, Post Malone and Pat Mac.
He's going to give you something to eat, and then you're going to be in a real fantasy world.
Right, I'll be eating that cookie, drafting T.J. Houshmandzadeh and Herm Edwards, just going off. Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, now that we've got the people we've picked out, what is that? I got 2 plus me, so that's 3, 6, 9 for Cody, and Jack's apparently bringing 12 teams is in his league. So we're up to a 22-man league now. This ought to be fun. But for our giant 22-man league, who should we get as commissioner? Who would your vote be to be commissioner of this giant McAwesome league, Jack? Also, keep in mind, they don't have to be playing in the league, and you are muted, Jack. The stash does a lot, but it doesn't provide a voice.
I'm muted?
Not anymore. You're back now.
Oh.
The magic mustache turned it off in all its glory.
I don't know what it did. The Rock, Dwayne The Rock Johnson. He's the XFL commissioner now or whatever owner. I mean, I want him president of the United States 2024. Why would you not want The Rock as your commissioner? He's gonna lay the smackdown on those candy asses if they don't.
Rudy Poo candy ass. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, he doesn't care what their name is. Come on, it's the perfect one. The Rock is. Who's not gonna pay The Rock? Everybody would pay The Rock.
I'm gonna show up. I'm gonna take you.
Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart would pay The Rock.
Oh, man. Somewhere after hearing The Rock, David Connors is now singing the Moana soundtrack. Hi, David. Yeah. Mayo, who are you going to... whose name are you throwing in the ring here to commission this league?
Commission the league? Man, I got to go with the legend himself in the biz, Michael Fabiano. He's been there, done that. He's seen everything. He's seen all the arguments for... maybe if you want extra point per something, maybe if I want my 6 touchdowns for my quarterback, you never know. I can maybe take it to him. He's got an argument for me. So I'm going with him just because he's ran probably every type of league possible. So I know I can trust him to make sound decisions.
Ooh, look at
Michael
you.
Fabiano reminds me of Patton Oswalt. He's like the fantasy football version of Patton Oswalt. I
Fantasy
don't like
Patton.
either of them. Their faces bug me.
Michael Fabiano, you've got a bug me face. According
got a
to
face.
face made for radio, as us old folks used to say. Countryman, whose name you throwing in the hat?
I gotta go with the one and only Matthew Berry. Just because his sarcastic tone and everything, plus he's gonna slap you with some information you might not even know. Matthew Berry all the way.
Plus, you could get an early look at the love-hate. That's nice, right? As long as
Yeah.
it came with an advanced viewing of the love-hate
Exactly.
article. It's been around since the inception of time, it feels like. I'm not mad at Matthew Berry. Not at all. Oh, man, this is hard. Who should I pick? Who should I pick? You know what? I don't know, man. This is rough because he took my Matthew Berry. I was going to go Matthew Berry all the way here. So I don't know what to do here. I'm gonna pick Bill Burr. I'm gonna go ahead and snatch somebody from inside of the league to have him. I like Cody's pick of Bill Burr for in the league. I'm gonna have him commish straight and narrow. Although I can trust him not to pencil with me. I think, yeah, Bill Burr is going to be my vote. Although, again, I'm not sure that he wouldn't pencil with me.
You give me a hard time for getting a little nostalgic.
I know, but like, I really wanted to pick Matthew Berry, and Roy took
I'm
him
sorry.
Roy took him from me.
All right, gentlemen.
I'll take your ball and go home.
I think I vote The Rock wins, though. Jack
Yeah.
picked right there. The Rock wins. The Rock is definitely the commission of the league.
You need
Sorry,
some
everybody
structure.
else.
You need some structure to the league.
He will literally slap the shit out of you if you don't pay your fee. Like, literally. It will happen. All right. Now we get to the ultimate. What's the win prize? What's the punishment? Jack, I start with you one more time here. In this
Oh, all right. So this is one I am ready for. So the win prize is something that I've always wanted to do. And the day I can afford it or the day we can afford it, whether that's Blitzalytics or whether that is my personal league, whatever it is, I want to buy a really nice hot rod, an old school, nice, classic car that everybody agrees upon, and the winner gets to drive that bitch all year.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's
yeah.
what I want. That's
so then
what I
the
want.
loser
Make
get
it-
in that league. The loser gets a jalopy, right? We're gonna give him like an '83 like Pinto, and that's what you have to drive around for the year. I love that league. Sign me up for that league. Give me two of those. You got it. Okay, inclination. What's the first car you think that comes to mind for that, Jack? You've got it in your mind. What
I
can you
think
close
of
your
like
eyes?
I don't know. I think of like an easy classic car that everybody likes, like a '69 Camaro. Like who doesn't love a '69 Camaro? Who would love like a
man.
'67 Chevelle?
There
Like
you
like
go.
the classic ones that everybody likes. Nobody would be upset with. You wouldn't have the Mopar guys and the Ford guys like bitching like. And it's kind of hard to not like those cars.
Right, one that just rumbles, just like, yeah, I'm into it. Mayo, give me the prize for winning, and if you have a punishment in that league, what would it be?
I just want to give kudos. That was a great idea. That's awesome because you can expand that to other different areas of something like that somebody can use for a boat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Anything like that. My immediate thought was, guys know me. I'm a WWE fan. I want a customized championship belt, and the ones that cost money, not the fake ones, the ones you're dropping, a couple grand on.
Yes,
A real belt. Yeah, it's gonna be heavy. I want that.
Something
That goes
tells me
winner.
that in that league, if Cody were to win, we would each receive like a video every day, like one of those WW. What you gonna do?
He's gonna
like
cut a promo.
vids,
Oh,
yeah.
cut a promo every day, every morning. Yeah.
What's the punishment in your WWE league, my friend?
Oh, I gotta do punishment too.
Yeah, hell yeah!
You slam through a table.
Oh
Spend-
my God, the
Oh.
Bills Mafia.
Brother Ray, get the table.
Yes, dude, Bills Mafia
Oh, yeah.
style.
Yeah,
Through the table.
just through the table, not like Hell in the Cell, like Mankind, where you might die type of stuff. But
This
yeah.
man has a family.
Like a little kids table, like a little kiddie plastic one.
That would
Simple.
That would be awesome. The video alone would be awesome on that choke slam through a $3 plastic kid table. Totally on board for that. Roy, I'm gonna take this one here. I'm gonna give you guys mine. I want to do the pick it and stick it league. What that means is the winner gets to pick the tattoo. The loser has to get it. So standard pick it and stick it league, man. Again, I don't want to play in that league because if I lose, the wife would leave me for some of the shit you guys are corrupt people. So
I'd quit the league. Nobody's putting some tattoo on me that I don't want. I'm the most tattooed one out of all of us, and there ain't no way I'm partaking in that.
This guy
says
ain't finishing last.
Yeah, exactly. That is true, though. I don't think I've never finished last. I've never had to suffer a punishment, so I wouldn't know.
Yeah, I'm usually if I lose a league, I'm that guy who loses it in championship week. You know what I mean? Like I'm the bridesmaid more so than I'm the ass into the train.
That is a very true. I am always a bridesmaid, never the bride when it comes to fantasy.
Yeah, I pull that OBJ and finish number 2. Roy, let's get you on the. You guys know I had to stick a couple in here. Roy, what would your punishment and prize be?
And out of all people, you use that transition to.
Oh,
He's
yeah,
the
there's
one
gonna
that
be
taught
some
us what a
Easter.
dump truck was.
that's true. It's very
Oh
true.
man,
But we now know the new nickname for OBJ. Anyway,
there's two
the
Easter
winner,
eggs for it.
the winner of the league, Cody actually stole mine because my league that I've played with for like the last 10 years was a little fake replica John Cena belt. So I'm going with Cody with the replica belt. Only I'm going with the real gold, but I'm gonna get an added value of stacks upon stacks. Let's go $100 grand. That's what the winner of my league's gonna get.
Baby.
We're getting cold hard cash.
Cold hard cash.
Cold hard cash.
I will
That's
stab
nothing
you
better.
to win the championship game. Like, I will come to your house and I will assault you for the win.
100 grand. We're gonna
Yeah,
get
100 If 100 grand's on the line, dude, I'm finding somebody to hack your phone. I'm starting.
Dude, I'm about to
like
Tanya Harding you as you walk out of your job, dude. I'm taking
You're gonna break
kneecaps.
my thumb whenever I'm drafting.
I don't think Mahomes is starting this week. Is he, Roy? He's not starting this week. Is he?
yeah. You're gonna trade him to me. You have no choice.
You got no choice. It's Mahomes to the knees, Roy.
And-
Mahomes to the knees.
And the punishment would be they have to get a haircut or facial haircut of my choice.
That's more doable than the tattoo because that can be rectified in a couple of weeks if need be. But yeah, I'll give you that. And I like the championship belt idea because why not? The Rock's our fucking commissioner, so he gets a discount probably. He'd get us a real belt, like a legitimate WWE belt. So I'm good with that.
Exactly.
So the Rock is
Get
the
one of his old
commish.
ones.
It's a 22-man league.
There you go, Roy. It's a Rock belt, because they get to keep their belt. So it's like a legitimate Rock belt. Like he wore this during the '99 SummerSlam or something against Stone
Perfect.
Cold belt.
Perfect. What a
And
way
it just
to end the
go
quarter
around.
there, guys. We're going to take the Rock's memorabilia that he sweated to get, and we're just going to take
The
it for playing this
100
fantasy
grand
game.
could be the money in the bank from somebody winning.
There it is. Money in the Bank League. We figured it out. Perfect fantasy league. You guys are welcome. If anybody knows Dwayne The Rock Johnson, feel free to tell him to email Blitzlytics and we'll get this going. We would sacrifice for him. So let's move into the second quarter here. We're going to get a little bit more, in line, I guess, on the rails, if you will. We're going to talk about the prospect guide again this week. This is the last one, right? I think this is the last division we have to finish up in the prospect guide. So, no, next week is. Let's start here with
This week.
This
last
week.
one.
This is the last,
Last one.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah,
We've done
we
4.
timed it up perfectly for the
For
season.
the season. Look, we did something right. Check that out. I'd be messing up the stream all day, but the schedule worked out. So let's jump into quarter number 2, where we are going to address the AFC West. And let's see here. Let's start with the Broncos. Roy, you wrote these guys up, so I'm going to start with you. Why don't you pick a name here to highlight for me?
Yeah, the guy I'm going with was one of the media darlings of the offensive linemen. He comes in at number 7 on my list. None other than Netane Muti. When this guy is healthy, he can absolutely annihilate people at the line of scrimmage, but he's really raw technically. So you want to get your prospect encyclopedia, do the deep dive on this guy. Probably 2 years from now, he's going to be a stud at left guard, especially with Mike Munchak getting him technically sound. This guy's worked with David DeCastro, Marquise Pouncey. He knows how to refine players and take them to the next level. So Netane Muti is going to be trying to keep Drew Lock or maybe the next quarterback to take him to the promised land. Keep him upright.
Netane Muti. You always have some special names, Roy. You always pick the coolest names. Jack, I'm going to come to you because yours is highlighted. Cody always keeps me in the dark. He likes to play this fucking surprise game like, ha-ha, you weren't ready for this. So since you did it here, I'm going to give it to you, Jack. Tell us about your guy.
LSU's Lloyd Cushenberry. He's somebody that you should definitely be paying attention to from a character standpoint. He was number 18 at LSU. That actually means something. He was a permanent team captain while he was there. Somebody that not necessarily the most mean, mauler, nasty, guy. Like, he's the complete opposite of Netane Muti. He does not dominate from a physical standpoint, but he does have a lot of traits that people like. He is athletic. He is long. He's a really good clean pass rusher. There is still a lot for him to do to grow into as a pass blocker. I'm sorry, I said rusher. But the fact that he's being forced into the starting lineup this year is quite interesting. I didn't expect him to be a day one plug and play starter, but due to them having a severe lack of depth on the interior offensive line, they've made it happen, and I'm excited to see. But this could be a weak point of that offensive line. They've got some pieces with our boy Dalton Reisner, and they brought in a couple free agents this year, I believe, as well.
Yeah, Denver on the come up here. Mayo, again, I don't know who you picked, so surprise me here, brother.
I'm going with Jerry Jeudy, their first-round pick. He's the most efficient route runner in this past draft class. He's going to make it very difficult for defenses to key on Cortland Sutton because of how great he's going to be able to get open for Drew Lock. And I just can't wait to see how he can help elevate this offense between those two, and especially once KJ Hamler gets back to being healthy. He's another person in this book that's going to be able to open up things, as well as Noah Fant is in this book. So there's a lot of elements, and you can even point to Albert O. So there's a lot of elements to this offense. But I think Jerry Jeudy is going to be the one that opens it up because of his route running ability. Usually those type of players will produce their rookie season. So I'm excited to see how this Broncos offense looks. But there's plenty of firepower here. But I do agree with Jack. It's going to be up to the play of their line. And, of course, if Drew Lock is who some people think he can be.
Yeah, absolutely. For me, it all lies there on the shoulder of Drew Lock. Roy, speak to me real quick about how deep this one is. I recognize some of these names, but a lot of guys, again, not a big college football guy, so I'm learning through reading this book. But what do you think here about the depth on the Broncos? Because we've talked a lot about that the last couple weeks.
Yeah, the Broncos are an up-and-coming team. If they get a couple of these guys to really hit their mark or exceed it, we give Drew Lock a hard time, which is mostly because we've seen him in person. And I'm not a big fan of Noah Fant, but what they are is a passing-type offense, and they added a lot of weapons. KJ Hamler, Jerry Jeudy, Fant, Drew Lock is very adequate at throwing the ball down the field. They got his college roommate, Albert Okwuegbunam, who means Eagle, come get us. And then the other guy that you want to be really paying attention to here, Broncos fans, you just heard the news. Von Miller is going to probably be out for the year. Key in on number 12 on our log here. 12 and 13 both are probably guys that might get a call on replacing them. I know Malik Reed really came on last year when Bradley Chubb got injured. He's going to probably be the first guy up. He's looked really well in training camp. Then you have a guy me and Jack both liked in the draft process, Derek Tuska from North Dakota State. This dude is energetic as all get out. He reminds me of a very, very, very poor man's TJ Watt, but he's just so frenetic and wants to get after the ball. He'll do it by any means necessary. So those are two names you want to be wanting to buy your prospect encyclopedia to get to know, especially on the injury front, or maybe even looking for a sleeper on your draft night for fantasy football.
Absolutely. Again, way to plug that book. It's getting natural at this point. I go to the grocery store. They're like, "Oh, how's your day?" "Hey, good. I wrote a book. You should buy it." Kansas City Chiefs. Your Super Bowl champion. Kansas City Chiefs. Hadn't heard that in 50 plus. So I'm going to come to you here, Cody, to start us off here because I'm curious where you're going to go. There's a bunch of names that I wouldn't mind to hear about up and down this list. So who is the guy that you would like to highlight on this Super Bowl championship Kansas City Chiefs team?
I'm going with the electric McCole Hardman. That dude is a burner. And I think with the Sammy Watkins, I think eventually they're going to fizzle him out at some point throughout the season. And McCole Hardman's going to start taking majority of the snaps. And I think with him and Tyreek Hill's speed, you're just going to see a bunch of 50-plus touchdowns from Patrick Mahomes this year. I mean, even with Sammy Watkins on the field, the way he can stretch the field is just going to open up things, especially for who Roy's going to talk about. It's going to make easy dump downs to him if they are focused in on those wide receivers. So I think McCole Hardman's going to help take things to the next level in this Chiefs offense this year. And he's always a good guy to have if Tyreek does get banged up, because we've seen that happen a couple times.
Yeah,
from the
absolutely.
past couple.
Love me some Mecole Hardman. Roy, he mentioned you. We'll come to you because this is the new cog in this powerful, powerful offense here.
Yeah, so my guy is the number one prospect on my list. He's my number one running back from this last year's draft. You go back and watch our running back video series from the 2020 draft, you'll see Clyde Edwards-Helaire. This guy just was a big cog in the LSU offense. He can do everything. I know some people want to knock him on pass protection. I was quite encouraged by what I seen. He does need to get a little bit stronger at the point, but as a pass catcher, this dude can run routes even better than wide receivers at some point. He's a very shifty runner. He's hard to get hard contact on. He's just an awesome player all around. I really think adding him to a Mahomes is just going to get absolutely ridiculous here.
Points on points on points as the rich continue to get richer with the Kansas City Chiefs and Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Another big piece here that Jack has highlighted is going to help out. What do you speak to your man, Jack?
He's not going to be helping out anytime soon. So
no,
Lucas
obviously
Niang's
not.
Coming from TCU this year, somebody that me and Roy have been looking at for a couple years now. You know, back in his junior year at TCU, he was regarded as a top 5, possibly even the number 1 tackle prospect coming out of college. He gave up 0 sacks his entire junior year. Like, he was a stud. Then he tore his labrum, tried to play through it, could not, suffered, and then his play diminished, and then he took the year off, rest of the year off, and got the surgery. So dating it back to I think when he got the surgery,
it's Lucas Niang he's talking about. I don't think you said his name. I just want to.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I not?
No, I don't believe so. Just so the fans know, he's talking about Lucas Niang.
Lucas Niang. I could have swore I did.
You know me.
Anyways, Lucas Niang, Texas Christian University. He's not going to be playing this year. He decided to opt out. I think it was something that even Cody had brought up, which is a good point. I think it was more of a mutual decision than anything else. They're giving him, basically redshirting him this year, letting him sit, get fully healthy and recovered. He's played banged up his entire college career. He had multiple injuries. So for him to have a fresh body and a fresh start, when you have Eric Fisher and Mitchell Schwartz, both contracts expiring after 2021, they can get out from underneath either of those contracts if they wanted to next year with little to no dead cap. So if he comes in next year and is looking like the prospect we expect him to be and a dominant staple bookend tackle, then I really do think that he's going to take one of those spots. Maybe it's 2022 that he takes it. But I want to get you guys' opinions, so I want to bring it up. Would you guys think this was a smart pick? Because he isn't going to be allowed to be with the team this whole year. He's basically going to be sitting at home. But I do from a overall career perspective, I think this was a smart decision to get 100% healthy, take the year off, let your body get fully recovered, and then come back. But from a developmental standpoint, it may not pay off.
Jack, you make a good point, and I know Cody brought this up earlier. He was probably not healthy enough to even participate in this season, especially since he sat out pretty well the entirety of the draft process with that injury. And with him opting out, Kansas City actually controls that contract now because it tolls this season. So for him, it's kind of a win-win. You get to take a redshirt season, and you get to stay another year in a Super Bowl window with Patrick Mahomes, a Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and all this, offensive fireworks, especially after they re-signed Chris Jones. That little bit of money maybe went to some of them guys being able to be retained. It's a smart, business move on his point, and you might be able to cash back in and get some of that money on the later years down in KC. So I think it's all around a win-win.
Yeah, I mean, I'm good with it. You got to do what you got to do, right? 2020 is going to be a crazy year anyway. So let's move on to the silver and black, the Raiders. Who are we going to talk about on this Raiders list, Cody?
I'm going with my man, Jonathan Abram. He was a top 5 safety for me in that pass class. I just love watching him play. He flies all over the field, not afraid to hit anybody, but unfortunately it kind of leads to his injury that we saw last year.
I saw a face mask this week. Did you see that on Twitter where he bent his face mask? Oh, man. Dude is a monster.
Yeah. I hope he does stay healthy because he can be a fun person to watch on this Vegas defense this year. I think he could be a potential future leader of that defense with some more maturity in the league. So I'm excited. I just hope he's healthy and we can get a full 16 games out of him.
I am too. I absolutely love that guy. I can't wait to see a season out of him. Jack, I know this is your squad here. One of them, we pretend that you're not a Bay Area guy, but we know you're a sympathizer. So why don't you tell me who you want to highlight here on this Raiders squad?
You can call it a sympathizer, but yeah, hometown teams. Yeah, I do cover the Niners. I cover the Raiders as much as possible. Hunter Renfrow, third Renfrow, as he is known down there in now Vegas, prior Oakland. I think that this guy actually has the opportunity to be the number 1 wide receiver on this team, and a lot of people are sleeping on that fact. He's not fantasy relevant, but if you look at the last 4 weeks of the season, last 5 weeks of the season from a fantasy perspective, he definitely was. What third and Renfrow can do for you is convert third and downs. What Hunter Renfrow can do as a receiver, he's not going to catch the ball on an 80-yard deep route. He's not going to, light him up in terms of yards after the catch, but he's going to consistently move the chains. He's going to consistently sit in those soft zone spots that he knows. He is one of the best or one of the better route runners to come out of the draft for the last couple of years. And from a slot wide receiver standpoint, he may be the best to come out in quite some time. Yes, he's balding. Yes, he looks like a 40-year-old middle-aged white man.
Bro looks like my science teacher in high school.
Dude, it's bad. Like, I almost feel bad for him, except for the fact that he's a pro athlete and he's killing it right now. Hunter Renfrow is somebody the Bucs should have took to replace.
Yeah, like you guys need more fucking weapons in Tampa.
Big fan of Hunter Renfrow this year. I think he might receive more targets than anybody else on that team. I think he's going to become, if he hasn't already, I think he's Derek Carr's security blanket moving forward.
Nice. So Jack hit us with Bill Nye the football guy. Cody, who? Excuse me, Roy. Who are you going to talk about here?
So the guy I'm going to be pounding the table for is the guy I've been pounding the table for since I think I was one of the only ones in draft season to mock him in a first round, which is where he should have went. Max Crosby from Eastern Michigan. This dude was a beast back then. He's a beast now, and now that everybody in the NFL knows him, be on notice. This guy's is double-digit sacks going up. Let's talk about 15, 16 or more with the improved linebacking core and the rest of the defense's pieces around him. Max Crosby is just peaking. He's going to be one of the faces of the pass rushers in the next 5 to 10 years in the NFL.
Roy been on Max Crosby since day one. Madden still don't have him rated 77 overall. Madden, you suck. Boycott
Chumps.
Madden. Hashtag boycott Madden.
Yes.
Hashtag yes.
Hashtag boycott Madden. Let's talk to you, Mayo, about the Chargers here, written by our boy Pat Pryor. Shout outs to Pat here. Who do you want to talk about on this LA Chargers roster?
I'm going with another safety from my top 5 list in the 2019 class. That's Nasir Adderley. After we saw the Chargers lost Derwin James, that's obviously going to hurt them big time. So they need somebody to step up in the secondary. Well, not really they got quality corners, but they need a safety to step up in his absence. And Adderley is a versatile safety that can line up inside the slot. He can play deep. He can play inside the box. He's not afraid to tackle. He wraps up great. And unfortunately, he flashed, I remember, last year in the preseason. I want to say he had a couple picks in like the 3rd or 4th preseason game. And then he got hurt. And he basically, I don't even know if he got a game in last year. I think he was hurt all year. So this is basically his rookie year. I've been excited about him as a prospect. So I'm ready to see him on an NFL field and what he can do.
I am, man, big fan of Nasir Adderley. Roy, I'll come to you here. Tell me who you want to talk about in Los Angeles.
Hey, and I would be very remiss if I don't mention a guy that we really covered in the Upstart XFL. Donald Parham made the 53-man roster. Dallas Renegades, great 6'8" Stetson tight end. He's a pass catcher. This dude is going to be a seam stretcher if he gets out in the field. He's going to be money in the bank. Maybe that back post fades to him in the end zone. Let's see Tyrod Taylor hit a guy like that. It's going to be interesting. Might be one of the better pass-catching tight ends since Antonio Gates out there in Los Angeles paired up with Hunter Henry.
Wow, look at Roy out there throwing some praise towards former XFL great Donald Parham. We've wrapped up time, Jack, so you get to talk as long as you want because there's no clock. Who do you want to talk about on this Chargers roster?
KJ Hill for me. It's somebody that we knew a little bit about going into the Senior Bowl this last year, and then he kind of flashed. I remember there was a few times me and Roy and Cody were kind of nudging each other going, did you see that route? Like, because he was just kind of known for being this pure speed, give him the ball, let him run and make some plays. But he wasn't, his route tree was very limited going into that, and there was a lot of knocks. Well, he was, I wouldn't say uncoverable, but he was making some guys look silly out there, during Senior Bowl time. And so for him to make this roster as a 7th-round pick was outstanding. I was rooting for him, and I'm very excited to see what he can do. He does have 4.4 speed. He is lightning in a bottle. He can take the top off the defense. I would see him, filling that Travis Benjamin role that they've had set aside for him for so long before he moved on. I mean, he'd been with San Diego for 4, 5, 6 years, something like that. And so once they moved on for him, they have that void of the take the top off the defense kind of guy. He's not just that burner. He's that guy you want to get the ball to by any means necessary, but he does have the speed to take the top off the defense. I'm excited with the other wide receivers being more bigger body possession guys. I think he's going to carve out himself a role for even as the number 4, number 5 wide receiver on the roster.
Well, that'll do it for the Chargers as well as the AFC West. And I'll tell you what, let's hit you guys with a quick commercial break. Check out this commercial for this 2020 Prospect Encyclopedia. You see it here over my shoulder. Beautiful cover, full of wonderful information. Also over Jack's cover. I'll tell you guys what, we will be right back in 2 minutes. For over 100 years, the story has been written, ever changing and growing with each new chapter. The soul remains, though the characters change. Bigger, faster, stronger, smarter.
Ready or not, here I come. You can't hide.
So too grows our fandom. Start miles ahead. The 2020 Prospect Encyclopedia. September. Available on Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com, and Blitzalytics.com. Welcome back to Football Happy Hour. Man, that commercial just gets me jazzed every time. If I didn't already own a copy, I would buy a copy. And if you don't own a copy, you definitely should buy a copy. There it is. Cody's showing it off in the corner. It's so pretty. I'll tell you what, I've spent more time in the bathroom than OBJ this week reading that book. So, before we get back in and jump into the third quarter in the NFC
I've never felt
West.
bad for OBJ in my life.
I still don't.
Look, man, that dime
I
store
don't know. I
Cardi B
kinda
could be
do
lying.
now.
We don't know. Mayo, do we have any questions in the chat?
Yeah, we got one from our boy Jay. It's actually specifically for Roy. With Cameron Hayward contract extension, will the Steelers try to sign J.J. Watt next year?
So this was my little chat with some friends, and that was my conspiracy theory on why they weren't throwing big money out at my boy Hayward. But now with Hayward signing a big deal, which is very reasonable, and he needed to be re-signed because he is the heart and soul of the Steelers defense. I do have to say it's probably going to take him out of the J.J. Watt experience here if he'd happen to get to be a free agency. So, but they're going to take care of his little bro. They're going to pay him probably upwards of around $30 million, probably likely this offseason. So don't worry, the Watt family will still be taken care of. It just will be little bro, not big bro.
Yeah, they're still eating good off that ultimate tag shit or whatever, so they're fine. They're fine. Let's jump into the third quarter where we are going to talk some NFC West, and everybody who knows anything about me knows that this is my division. Big Rams fan. Even when we're terrible, I love the Rams. So let's jump into old school Rams rivalry here, and I'll start with Mr. Jack Bourgeois, who did write this 49ers piece up for us. Who do you want to talk about on this 49ers roster, Jack?
Oh, Javon Kinlaw, good friend of the show. Somebody that me and Roy got to know pretty well down there at the Senior Bowl. Fell in love with him.
Jack just gonna take Roy's pick like that. Jack's just gonna take Roy's pick like that.
Right? Oh my God! I'm sorry.
Jack said
I'm
F the
wrong
rules.
color. I'm sorry. I'll talk about Debo. I'm sorry.
You can talk about anybody you want, Jack.
I know. I got my colors confused.
Talk about both of them.
If you
let's just say, who is Javon Kinlaw following?
Oh, snaps.
I like teal, okay? You stole my color. Teal is my color, all right? It's a Sharks thing. So anytime I see teal, I literally bought teal towels for my bathroom today, all right?
Teal
I
towels
like the color teal.
All right. You're showing off now.
All right.
Now you got
Debo Samuels, let me rephrase this. Somebody I didn't get to meet at the Senior Bowl this year. Is that the one the year before? Debo Samuels, it's crazy that he should even be on this list because he's clear-cut the number one wide receiver last year. He is I'm going to say it. I'm saying it right now. This is going to be one of my hot takes. He is the number one wide receiver with the ball hit in his hands in the NFL today. Ooh. He is the best yards after catch receiver in the NFL today. He is the best runner of the football as a wide receiver in the entire NFL. If you need 5 yards and he has 2 tackles that he needs to break or 2 guys he needs to make miss, he's going to make it happen. That's why he had a bunch of rushes last year. That's why he did all those jet sweeps. That's why you remember there's literally a gif of him doing that spin on whoever it was as he walked into the end zone last year, I think against the Seattle. He is an outstanding wide receiver. Again, somebody that from Senior Bowl on, everybody kind of fell in love with how good this guy really is. And I think he's going to have some fantasy relevancy this year. He's going to be somebody that you pay attention to, target late. He is hurt right now. But I think with the fact that they've had so many wide receivers go down, he's set up for a monster year.
I ain't mad at you. Roy might be. So let's go to Roy to talk about Javon Kinlaw.
So I'm going to talk about Jack's guy, Javon Kinlaw, who steps into some big shoes that he's already got to fill. Mr. DeForest Buckner, who's now on full circle Cody's team in the Indianapolis Colts. This guy might be better immediately than what Buckner was in his first couple years in San Francisco. This guy is just scratching the surface of really what he can become. Pass rushing moves are there. He looks like a creative player on Madden when you see him in person. Rob and Jack and Cody can attest to this. He made me look small, and I don't look small usually around a lot of people. But he has a great story. He's a faithful man. I love what he's all about. I think it'll be a great story for a lot of young kids to be able to see. you can rise up past your situation and really go on to stardom, because I think that's what he's in store for at the NFL level.
Dude, I feel like I need the more you know graphic to pop up right. The more you know behind Roy's head right now. Cody, who do you want to feature on this San Francisco 49ers roster?
I'm going to go with another wide receiver on this offense, Brandon Ayuk. He was a top 5 wide receiver for me this class just because of his potential that he offers. I think he has a high ceiling just because he's coming into the league with 2 years at Arizona State. He played in a community college before he transferred there. And I just think he can add a really explosive element to this 49ers offense. And I think he's actually, him and Deebo Samuel's skill sets complement each other. Deebo can eat up things underneath, and Ayuk has the ability to take things over the top. He does have return ability, and a crazy stat, he's got arms for days. He's just under 6 foot, and he's got a wingspan that if he was 6'9". So, when Jimmy Garoppolo overthrew Emmanuel Sanders, he might be able to reach out and catch that ball.
Yeah. Just dig it in.
Mean.
Just dig it in
That
and
was mean.
twist.
How about let's say that the old aging Emmanuel Sanders wasn't fast enough to run that route? How about that one?
I don't know. It would have helped to have a guy who can scratch his shin bone without bending on that too. So
it is his wingspan is comparable to an NBA center.
That's insane.
That's
let's
6 foot.
let's talk about the home of future MVP Kyler Murray, the Arizona Cardinals, written up by our boy Jacob Pattison of TSR. I'm going to come to who hasn't started. Let's start with Roy real quick. Who do you want to talk about on this Cardinals roster? And I know it's sad it can't be Kyler.
I know. We should just talk about Kyler at every point of any episode we can. It really pains me because the one guy I did want to talk about didn't make this list, and now he's a free agent, Mr. Hakeem Butler, my draft crush, but I can't talk about him. So we're going to number 9 on Jacob's list. Rashard Lawrence, defensive lineman from LSU. He was a heart and soul glue kind of guy, 2-gapping, down defensive lineman. He got bull strength. This guy is strong as an ox. He can take on multiple blockers. He can push the pocket. He reminds me of Cam Hayward when the Steelers drafted him out of Ohio State, and also the same impact off the field and as a leader in a locker room. I think if he gets a chance to develop behind a couple guys, maybe for a year or so beside some professionals, I think he could really take that next step, but it's just not going to be immediately because he did struggle with some injuries while he's at LSU.
Yeah, injury bug sucks. A lot of things suck in 2020. I'm going to come to you, Mayo. Who you want to talk about on this AZ Cardinals roster?
I'm going straight to his number 1 prospect, one of my draft crushes in this past class, and that's Isaiah Simmons. Versatile. I was open. I scrolled down. I'm like, who took him? No, versatile defensive weapon. I think he can be used all over. He's probably going to line up more as a linebacker, but I think that's his best bet, is because then you can use him in a variety of ways. He has the ability where maybe you want to send a safety on a blitz. He has the speed and the fluidity in his hips to kick back and play that safety role. He can read and react very well in zone coverage. He can even line up in the slot and cover the slot receiver. Especially when you're talking about a division that has a guy like George Kittle, he's going to be able to stick on George Kittle's hips. He needs to grow some more strength to maybe keep on George Kittle because he can maybe toss him to the side because of Kittle's strength. But I wouldn't be surprised if that's a matchup. Actually, they play this week. Actually, that's going to be one of the all 22 when it hits Game Pass. I need to watch this week. But yeah, I have such high expectations. If anybody listened to the Cody Talks NFL show, I named him my defensive rookie of the year. That's my pick right there. So I'm very high on him.
Super duper high on an athletic freak like that. Love it.
Yeah.
Jack, I come to you. I see your highlighted name, and it has piqued my interest.
Andy Isabella caught all of 9 receptions last year, but averaged 21 yards per reception while doing that. Andy Isabella is somebody who kind of fell to the wayside last year. I think that he could, especially with DeAndre Hopkins taking a majority of the coverage's concentration. Andy Isabella could be a sneaky good wide receiver this year. He's definitely the speedster. He ran a 4.3. He doesn't look like he runs a 4.3 by any means. I mean, I remember meeting him at Indianapolis Airport the year of the combine 2 years ago, and he's not much bigger than me. He looks like one of us, like me or Cody would just be hanging out. But this guy is lightning quick, fast, and I think that if he finds that right mold and they start using him like they did the last few weeks of the season, and he can continue that stretch, he's going to be a very, very good chess piece. And you know I wouldn't say the point guard, but maybe the shooting guard of that wide receiving core. Sorry.
Hey, it's okay. Stuff your sorries in a sack, Jack. We're going to move on now from the Arizona Cardinals to probably the greatest. I hate, the greatest football team ever assembled in the Los Angeles Rams. No, I'm just kidding. We're going to have a down year, but still some guys to talk about on here. I'm going to go ahead, and based on this list, I want to talk to Jack first. He did write up about him. So he is super knowledgeable. I think he hit 20 of 22, something insane. So congratulate Jack. Little golf clap here on the side for Jack, 20 of 22 prospects. I'm going to let you start here, brother.
We're just going to skip the rest of the Cardinals?
I thought, no.
We did.
Yeah. Oh, we didn't hit up.
Did you do Rashard Lawrence?
No, we didn't.
I did.
Yeah, okay. We did.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm getting confused.
Yeah,
I'm all messed up
It's
right
Tuesday night. I'm turnt.
I was like, I didn't hear Rashard Lawrence. It just flew right by me. I'm sorry.
It's fine. They're Cardinals. They fly. Let's talk about the Rams, though. That's what everybody's here for anyway, because the Rams are the greatest.
I think I'm going to boycott this.
We might need to speed this section up.
You sons of bitches.
All right, let's jump on into it. Cam Akers is one of the best 3-down backs in the NFL, or coming into the NFL this year, this rookie class. I love what he did. Florida State behind no offensive line, like literally the worst offensive line in the history of college football. It was so bad that the fact that he even had 1,000 yards behind in that offense is outstanding. I think he's going to take the Todd Gurley role and run with it, even though somebody in this podcast on this show complained about it and said it wasn't going to happen. And then he drafted him in his fantasy draft.
It's a 16-team league. It is a 16-team
all right, you didn't draft running back by committee. You drafted Cam Akers because you know it's true, sucker. You know it's true. Cam Akers is going to be the next Todd Gurley of that offense. He may not be peak Todd Gurley, but he is going to get a majority of that workload, and he will be the 3-down workhorse for the Rams because that's what their offense needs.
I'm not even mad. I'm going to repeat. Eventually, this will be his job. It's just the RBBC scares me a little bit. Like we talked about on the Blitz breakdown this morning. As soon as he gets that century yard mark game, it's his job. It's just what week does that happen? Mayo, I want to come to you because I think I know who you're going to talk about, and I'm super excited here.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and I was like totally prepared to talk about Jack's number one prospect. I won't name it because you got to buy the book to find out. But I was totally prepared to talk about him because he was another safety I loved in that class. There's a spoiler alert. But I'm gonna go right to my man, Van Jefferson. This is a guy who, I mean, it's so hard because this route, when you think about it, this past class had a lot of route runners, but he is one of the top 5 for me in this class. He caught my eye right before the Senior Bowl week. And then when we were there, I swear, me, Jack, and Roy, the whole night, were, did you see him? You see that separation? How he's high pointing the balls? Like, he just blew my mind. My player comp for them, I said to those guys when we were sitting there on the bleachers, was Jarvis Landry. I think he's going to be if you're a fantasy person, a PPR machine. I kind of thought he was more of a year away before you're going to see any significant action just because of the other 3 wide receivers there in LA. But he's put on such a performance in this past in a shortened training camp. Imagine if he had the OTAs and a full training camp. But he's going to be there for a long time, and I can't wait to see how he plays.
Yeah, I know we're catching a lot of coach speak, but they are fawning all over the kid, and we got to do something. I don't think Cooper Kupp comes back next year, so Van Jefferson it is for the win, my friend. I love those route running abilities he's shown. So, Roy, I come to you. I just want to spend all day talking about my Rams, but I guess I'll let you finish us up here.
Yeah, so for me, it's a guy on a star-studded lineup of a Utah defense out of last year's draft class. That's Mr. Terrell Burgess. This guy played mostly safety at Utah. He's going to probably play a lot more nickel cornerback, being in Nickel Roby-Coleman left town. This guy is fundamentally sound, especially in short area. He has great peripheral vision and ball skills. He's able to get up to the catch point late. He's just a real feisty type player. So he can play safety. He can play nickel corner. Very versatile piece on that defense that you're going to be needing to fill a couple hats. So Terrell Burgess is probably going to be a guy you get to know early and often this year for LA fans.
Good. We need some help there. Let's move on to division rival. Probably got to talk about him, even though I hate talking about him. I just whatever. Seattle Seahawks. Again, going to be competitive this year. Let's talk about these young cats, though. This was written by Cody, so I think it's natural that we start there with Cody. And who do you want to feature on this Seattle roster?
I'm actually going to go with Will Dissly, a little
Big
fan
country.
favorite. Yeah, from me and Rob always been hyping him up in the offseason, and then he gets hurt, unfortunately. But he's a guy that's a physical tight end. He came into the league thinking he'll be more of a run specialist, but he's actually very nuanced in the red zone. He finds a way to find out holes. Russell Wilson tends to look his way when he's on the field. He just has suffered back-to-back season-ending injuries. The thing about this book too, to remind people that if they have not bought it yet, to qualify, you have to have 12. You have to be from the last 3 draft classes, and you have to have less than 12 career regular season starts. Will Dissly has 10 starts. 10 starts in 10 games. So, literally, if he would have just been healthy, he's not meant to be in this book. So, I know they got Greg Olsen, but don't be surprised if Will Dissly's used in a 2 tight end set quite often, especially when they get towards the red zone.
Love that big country some bitch. I'm good about it. As you guys, the fans can see, the clock ran out. But much like the salary cap in the NFL, our clock is just a myth. So we move on. Let's go to Roy to talk about the Seattle Seahawks now.
Yes. So what's for one of my guys here is a guy I was hyping up pre-draft. He was one of my superlatives when it came time to a running back series. None other than DJ Dallas. He played for Florida. Really hard-nosed runner, kind of a one-cut back. He has good patience and vision. But this guy is a great receiving threat. He actually was a wide receiver that transferred back to running back at Florida due to need. And the type of explosiveness that he showed as a runner, this guy might be an up-and-comer in his backfield with Chris Carson and Rashad Penny both have an injury, and Carlos Hyde only signed for 1 year. This might be an up-and-coming guy that you want to be targeting in dynasty leagues.
I love the name, right? DJ Dallas, dude. Makes me want to go watch Hustle and Flow. Let me come to you, Jack. Who do you want to spotlight on this Seahawks roster? Don't shake your head. Hustle and Flow is an amazing film.
I didn't say it wasn't. Just like your reference, that was just so left field. I just wasn't.
I'm
ready for
a
that.
boomer. I'm old.
You are pretty old. Damian Lewis from LSU. Apparently, I just want to talk about everybody from LSU today.
Jack
Damian
signing
Lewis
up for
is
the
somebody.
LSU fan club right now.
I am pretty close by. I'm surrounded by nothing but LSU fans now out here.
Ironically,
LSU
I don't know if you've caught this, but that's a picture of Joe Burrow over your shoulder as well. So LSU, baby.
Yeah, it's nothing. But hey, Tua's right there though. It's okay. That's supposed to be yours. Yeah, it's supposed to be. Yeah, this must be hanging up in your office. I don't know what happened to that. Anyways, screw the clock. Damian Lewis is a brick, you know what? Because I'm gonna do good and right by Roy, unlike you other two.
Potty mouths. We have
potty mouths.
Degenerates. You other two degenerates,
go.
and I will not cuss in front of Roy. I'll do my best on air.
I will pray for
so
you
that the
all.
rest of the family can
You
watch
keep
this.
pushing me, and I'm going to say the 7 words you can't say on TV.
Don't say it.
Earmuffs, Roy, earmuffs.
Don't help. I have earplugs in.
He's a brick shit house who plays very well in a phone booth. And it's different. And I can say that. Who plays in a phone booth. He's mean, he's nasty, he's big, he's somewhat athletic, but he's not somebody you want playing in like anything. You don't want him playing in an outside zone run scheme or anything like that. He doesn't move too well, but he is very, very compact and very, very powerful. But I will say this is the one thing. He got eaten alive by Javon Kinlaw. They believe he is ready to start. Javon Kinlaw will be starting, and they will be seeing each other very, very soon. And Damian Lewis is not going to get his revenge anytime soon on Javon Kinlaw, and that will be a weak spot for anybody who is anywhere remotely as gifted as a Javon Kinlaw. So just wait till what happens when the pros get to him. I'm a little bit concerned. There is definitely going to be some growing pains year one.
Yeah, it happens. Again, athletic freaks will make other people look bad. So that'll do it for the third quarter, about 10 minutes long, because screw the clock. You heard Jack. So let's hit you with some fourth quarter. We're going to do another random fun topic here for the fourth quarter. We're going to talk about the team of the happy hour crew. It's in quotations, so that means I got to read it, right? Ron Burgundy style. We're all going to pick a team, make a pitch to the rest of us as a crew to root for and follow this year. One rule, you can't choose the team that you love, right? So no Bucks, no Steelers, no Colts, no Rams. Let's go ahead and see what we've got here. Any volunteers to start?
Well, I have one question about the curriculum.
Sure.
Does that mean that none of us can pick those teams? Are we canceling all four of those teams? Or
I say cancel them all. 'Cause we'll talk about those teams. This is a team that we all four can just root on throughout the year.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we can talk.
All right.
And everybody
we'll
here
talk
knows
about
that it should be the Arizona Cardinals, home of future MVP Kyler Murray, athletic freak Isaiah Simmons. You've got an innovative coach in Cliff Kingsbury. Get in on the ground floor while the getting is good. This is going to be an exceptionally fun team to watch. Why not get in while you can? Look smart. Do it early, my friends. Arizona Cardinals, great color scheme, red and black. Everybody looks good in red and black, guys. And again, Kyler Murray's like 4.5 foot tall. I root on anybody who's built differently, man. So for me, I'm going to ask that you guys consider, again, home of future MVP Kyler Murray, Arizona Cardinals, and that deal they just gave Hop. They're not afraid to spend any money. Hop, come on, what is it? Highest paid non-quarterback in league. They're not afraid to go out there and shove some coin down some guys' bank accounts. So go ahead and jump on this Arizona Cardinals bandwagon early. I petition thee to do so.
I'm all 2 feet right on board with you, Rob. I'm riding that Kyler Murray MVP. And that defense is stacked. I even forgot that they signed Drake Kirkpatrick opposite Patrick Peterson. So they got playmakers at all three levels of the defense, and now, just firepower after firepower if Kenyon Drake's healthy for Arizona.
Yeah, and I got to make that pitch to you, Roy. Butler was a fan of yours, and you were a fan of Butler's, and they were so good at the position, they were just like, nah, son, you can go somewhere else.
Yep. It's that embarrassment of riches. It's just absolutely ridiculous
There's
what
going to
they
be
have
less
out there
than
in the
20
desert.
drop balls in Arizona the whole season. They have the most reliable hands in football.
Oh my God, Fitzgerald and Nuck Hopkins. I mean, I think it should be, whoever's buying beer, or whoever drops the first pass.
$10,000 fine per drop ball.
I mean, so are you saying Cardinals too, Roy, or you got a different team?
The team I'm going to pound for right now, guys, the Los Angeles Chargers. I know they were dealt
They
a
have
very
no fans,
blow
so they do need
with
fans.
Derwin James. I'm going with the Chargers. This defense is legit, even without Derwin James. They learned how to play without him last year. They got Nasir Adderley. Desmond King can maybe get in there since Chris Harris Jr. took his place at nickel corner. And for me, forget about Justin Herbert. I want my man Tyrod in there. We got Austin Eckler. We got, just you're talking about embarrassment of riches. Mike Williams. You got Hunter Henry, Keenan Allen. Come on now. Let's just go. Let's go. This is going to be fun backyard school type playing. And I love Anthony Lynn. I love him as a coach. I think this is a dark horse team. They improved their offensive line, which was one of the biggest holes that they've had. I think it's going to be a kind of a dark horse team for that AFC West or wild card position.
And Roy picked a good team because if you become a fan of the Los Angeles Chargers, you are automatically in the top 10 fans of the Los Angeles Chargers.
Yeah, see?
So there's a closet perk there as well. So, Jack, let's see who you've got in mind. Who you petitioning us to enjoy, and which Bay Area team is it?
It is the Bills Mafia.
Ooh, yeah, throw it down, baby.
I am going Bills Mafia. Obviously, I'm a homer in the sense of Josh Allen, come from the same town. But the team, the talent, the coaching staff is undeniable. The weapons that they've added, now looking back on it, because we were a little bit questionable about the Stephon Diggs trade for the first-round pick. That obviously, I think now we all look at it, it's probably going to pan out. But what they have, I mean, John Brown can take the top off the defense. Stephon Diggs is the outside guy. They got Cole Beasley to run the inside routes and play in the slot. They have 2 stud young running backs. They have a solid offensive line. And I really do believe that Josh Allen is going to make that next step. Will he ever be a truly accurate quarterback? No. But can he make that next step in terms of hitting the balls that he needs to and being, he had game-winning drive after game-winning drive. You look back at all their wins last year, fourth quarter, last drive of the game, he was going to get that first down by any means necessary, whether that was running the ball, whether that was extending it with his legs and then throwing downfield. He can do it all. There's nothing he can't do other than thread the needle. Well, you have a Stephon Diggs who creates more separation than any other wide receiver in the game today. It was proven last year by Next Gen Stats. It was insane. Like, I think he had 5 yards of separation on average, or 4 yards per separation, or average per route. It's insane what he can do. Now you talk about the defensive side of the ball. I mean, talk about Ed Oliver. You talk about, just the 2 guys on the back end, Jordan Poyer and Micah Hyde. Like, those guys are unsung heroes. Micah Hyde has been one of the best free agent signings of the last 10, 15 years of the price that they got him for and what he's been able to do. Oh, yeah, and then you have one of the best corners in Tre'Davious White, and you've got guys opposite him, and then you have a stud group of linebackers. There is zero weak point. There is depth on this team. They could lose guys and still be fine. They could lose a starter. They could lose a wide receiver. They could lose, you name it, an offensive lineman. Like, they have multiple guys that can play. They have 3 starting caliber tackles. I think they're starting Cody Ford at right tackle this year. They've got guys that can play. And all the stigma is that that's the Pats division. No more, son. That is not going to be the case. And Buffalo, honestly, could be a playoff contender, or not only just a playoff contender, but a Super Bowl contender if the cards line up. They are a bad matchup for some high-powered offense, some teams that they can slow down completely. And if Josh Allen has this outer body game or two and lives up to the potential and the hype and takes over a game with his legs, you could see them beat, like a KC. Like, there's teams that they can beat. Not saying they will, but they have the firepower and they have the capacity to slow a high-powered offense down, run the ball, and put up points when they have to do it.
I'm not mad at that. A couple points to add to that. In the year of the virus not to be named so we don't get pulled off YouTube, there is no home field advantage fan-wise, so that winter weather in Buffalo will make them look better. And let's be honest, they have the best rapper in the NFL in Cole Beasley on the roster, so... the Bills. Let's be honest, dude. He crapped all over Le'Veon Bell's album. So, I'm not mad at the Bills Mafia. That's a good one. Threw me a curveball there. I thought we were going Bay Area for the Jack, but Mayo, do you have a surprise in line for us as well? Jacksonville Jaguars, right? That's who you should like.
Oh no,
Minshew
no.
getting mania here.
No, not at all. And I like Jack's pick because the team I'm about to talk about, and the reason why I like Jack's pick is because it could potentially, I agree, it could at least get us to the AFC Championship game. I'm trying to go for maybe longevity plus fun here. And we might have some personal reasons here, too. I'm going with the Minnesota Vikings for the team to root. Let's start on the offense. Who's going to take Gary Kubiak, by the way, who is now the offensive coordinator. So we got somebody returning to a bigger role in football. Dalvin Cook takes his scheme to the next level. Guess what? If he gets hurt, Alexander Madison's a quality starter to fill in. If he gets hurt, we got Mike Boone running the ball. Kirk Cousins is one of the better play-action quarterbacks in the league, and he's got one of the better tight end tandems that you can have with Kyle Rudolph and Irv Smith Jr. I think those guys, I think Irv Smith's set to have a breakout year in this league. And then let's look at Adam Thielen. You're talking about a guy that played D3 football, and now he's one of the better route runners, one of the better receivers you can root for, under the radar guy, kind of like, coming from the ground up. And then you got Justin Jefferson, one of the most polished receivers to come out of this past class. He's going to have a big year. Watch out for Ole BC Johnson working the slot. And now I will say this, the offensive line is a concern, but this is an offense that can put up points and move the ball down the field. And then especially, without fans, maybe that helps Kirk on the road. win some games and ball out.
You just get, you're gonna hear you like that just echo through the empty stadium.
Right.
They're just gonna pump that into the crowd noise.
But the biggest reason, though, I not much of the offense. I'm going to the defense. It has a lot of pieces that I know I personally like. There's a lot of pieces scattered through that defense. I feel like all you guys like. You got a top five. Well, it depends on their view. In my opinion, 2 top 5 edge rushers in this league between Yannick Ngakoue and Danielle Hunter coming off the edge. You got Eric Kendricks and Anthony Barr at the linebacker spot. So you got one of the best coverage linebackers in the NFL and a versatile linebacker that can be used all over within that defense. A top 5 safety tandem with Anthony Harris and Harrison Smith. And then you got a bunch of young corners that I like. Mike Hughes, Cameron Dantzler, Jeff Gladney, and Hill. That's another guy to watch. He's more than being a quality starting cornerback. Then you got also a no-nonsense head coach in Mike Zimmer. He's blunt. He'll tell you how it is. He doesn't put up with bullshit. He'll move on from you if you're Xavier Rhodes or a Stephon Diggs with the ego. And then I'm going to point out to another guy that we all have a connection to, and that's Slick Rick Spielman, who's not afraid to help make a move, will go get his guy and do whatever it takes to get him. We've heard him talk. He's funny. He'll make you laugh. He's a guy fun in interviews. So that's my pitch. It's the Vikings.
I can't believe that you said
office. Yeah.
I can't believe you were talking about defensive players, Cody, and you didn't mention my one bad Mata'afa.
Oh, I forgot.
Hercules Mata'afa, and you even made a comment about Zimmer being, really pain in the butt. So, jeez.
Well, I mean, that gives us some good choices here. Jack and Cody both took teams that I think are winning their division this year. Me and Roy, a little deeper dive, not necessarily guaranteed playoff spots for our 2 teams. But
well, I will say this. I did like yours because yours is a sexy pick. There is a potential to make it to the playoffs, but like we all talk about, the NFC West is going to beat up each other. The NFC as a whole is so tough. I mean, Minnesota has a difficult path. I mean, I kind of like when he mentioned the Bills, that kind of like made me perk up because I'm like, man, I like the quarterback. Like the receivers, the running backs, and that defense. Tremaine
and they're
Edmonds,
a working man's team, and as for working men, where we all have to do other stuff. Football is not paying the bills for us, so you gotta like a blue collar working man team, right, Roy?
Hey, and let's just say this: let's soak up the moment of us talking about Buffalo and probably Miami being a better class in that organization in the scheme of the AFC East. We're talking about New England maybe finishing 3rd or 4th. No. That's outstanding. Yes.
Right, because by rooting on the Bills, you're also closetly
second.
rooting against the Patriots, though. So you do get that perk with the Bills. So I'm going to present it, and we'll go around the horn and see who we think won here. Your 4 choices: Chargers, Bills, Cardinals, Vikings. I think Jack might have swayed me, although I still advocate you watch a lot of Cardinals football because they're going to be fun to watch. I think Jack might have swung me and the Bills win for me here. Jack, I'll come to you. Did anybody sway you, or are you just stuck with the Bills there because you made a hell of a case? Plus the tables.
You're breaking up quite a bit there, buddy.
Yeah, yay, Missouri internet. Can you hear me now? Awesome. Thanks for that.
I will say,
I got the gist of it. We all are kind of leaning towards the Bills, and right now I'm like Bills, and then if I had to rank it, I would go like
Cardinals.
Probably Cardinals because they're a sexier pick than Minnesota, and then I'm sorry, Roy, I like the pieces on the Chargers, but I could not root on a Tyrod Taylor-led offense. He's a good guy. Well, that sounds boring to me.
He's a good quarterback who won't turn the ball over, and he will not drive it downfield either. But
I think
for
the
me,
team with the best Super Bowl odds is Cody's. I think the Vikings. If we were gonna, which of those 4 makes the Super Bowl? It's the Vikings. Yes.
Oh, so I think the Bills have like the best chance to go the farthest or the deepest in the playoffs.
They meet Kansas City at some point.
Minnesota had like the most changeover. And so at the beginning of this offseason, when you're seeing letting them go of Linval Joseph and Everson Griffin and Xavier Rhodes, you're like, that's their whole defense. Like that's like 3 Pro Bowls or 3 All-Pros right there. Like, where are they also going to get all this talent? And then Stephon Diggs, and what are they going to do? And then somehow you now look at this roster and you're like, wow, this might be better than last year's roster. Like they now have opposite like Unique Ndakwe, a happy Unique Ndakwe. I'm excited to see what Jacksonville players do outside of Jacksonville. Like we've seen it with Jalen Ramsey a little bit, but he was kind of just thrown into the mix this last year, getting traded mid-season. I want to see what these guys do, even including the Leonard Fournettes, do when they're happy to play football again. Because obviously people just aren't happy playing football in Jacksonville. I think Unique Ndakwe, opposite of Daniel Hunter, is maybe the best 1-2 punch in terms of, DN tandem, edge rusher tandem in the NFL. How do you stop that? Like, how do you stop that defense? If Cam Dantzler is what we think he's going to be, then they have 1, 2, 3 starting, cornerbacks.
Like 4, I think, with Holton Hill.
I'm
just saying this, guys. I know we pitched it a lot. I wrote the Vikings section, and I wrote about all 5, even up to Chris Boyd. He's a solid fill-in guy if you need him in a snitch. So I understand. Yeah, like the Vikings have a potential great defense, but I know we're getting probably to the end of the quarter, so my vote is Bills. I'm going Bills.
Let's for me. Bills.
I'll go Bills too.
Yeah, Bills are the rooting interest for all 4 of us. And Jack said something there. I'll tell you what, whatever drugs Gardner Minshew is on, they should pass out freely to the American public because he's the only guy I think that is happy playing in Jacksonville, and I want some of that happiness. That guy, just a fun ball to watch on an absolute dumpster fire of an organization and a team. I do not know how he keeps his spirits up. Let's see how all these Jaguars play elsewhere this season. I'm with Jack. I'm also excited about that. But the Bills win. Kind of shocked, but not shocked at all because we're kind of always been friendly to Josh Allen. So just gives us a rooting interest now. Before we hit overtime, I'm going to hit you guys with a quick commercial. Check out this trailer for Island of Misfit Toys about the 2008 Florida Gators. Give my guys a chance to take a drink, and we will be right back.
Sex, drugs, and murder. Welcome to the locker room of the
Let's go, get in here! Get in here right now! Get in here! Hey, we got 30 minutes for the rest of our lives! 30 minutes for the rest of our lives! That's our bad first half. It ain't happening. We get the ball. I promise you one thing. We're going to hit somebody and we're taking down the field for a touchdown. I guarantee you that. Guarantee. Look at me. Look at me. Let's go. We got 30 minutes. Let's go. For the rest of our lives.
And welcome back to Football Happy Hour, where we apparently have a bot in the chats or somebody's having a stroke. If that's you and you're having a stroke, please call 911. If you're a bot, thank you for watching the show. We're going to wrap this up here and get into overtime with another fun topic. We're going to just hit you with some bold predictions, the hottest of the hot, if you will. Bunch of stuff. Probably throwing noodles at a wall, to be honest here, but you know what, let's go around the horn and get some out. I'll start here because Jack was just upset at me today when I said the Steelers were going to win this freaking division in the AFC, and he was just beside himself that I could forecast that past the Ravens. So there's one for me. I've been on the Kyler Murray as the MVP. Those are my 2 biggest ones, but after doing the schedule with Jack this morning, I also want to say there's a chance my Rams win. He made me put some L's that should have been W's, and I think my Rams could get in with that last playoff seed. So there's 3 for me. I'll come up with more as we go around the horn. Let's start with Jack and why he was so upset about my correct pick that the Steelers are going to win that division.
My man.
Roy, this is no offense to you whatsoever. I want you to know.
Okay,
Earmuffs again, okay?
Now. He's getting ready to offend me.
All right. No offense. But there ain't no way that the addition of just Big Ben and maybe a couple other pieces, primarily like you think of the biggest addition is what, Chase Claypool?
Eric Ebron?
Okay. All right. Anything
the biggest
else?
addition is Ben Roethlisberger.
Let's talk about the addition.
The biggest addition is Ben.
How about we talk about what they did with the Baltimore? Because Baltimore is better than they were last year, and then Baltimore just got way freaking better this year.
Who's their best pass rushers?
Judon.
Okay, other than him.
Give me a second.
Jalen Ferguson. He's in
I
the
can name
encyclopedia.
5 guys on our defenses that are probably all pros. There's no way Baltimore's winning this division because I'm not even convinced Lamar Jackson starts 12 games this year.
Oh, whoa! Is that your bold prediction?
You're just trying to like wishfully want him to get hurt.
Wishfully
What is this?
anything. I
What
love
is this?
watching him play. I'm just saying, a guy that's like around 215 pounds at his size cannot withstand a beating in that type of offense for longevity's sake.
I'll
I'm
tell
just
you what,
saying
Jack, let's lay a bet on the line. Either when we go to Mobile or when we go back to the Combine, whichever team won the division, if Pittsburgh won the division, you have to walk around wearing a T-shirt with my face on it expressing your love and admiration for me. And if the Ravens win, I will wear a T-shirt expressing my love and admiration for you in public at our event.
See, I just don't want that for either of us. It's not that I don't appreciate it, but like at our own event, like I'd rather us look good, professional, and not be like, well, this one episode he said this.
Oh,
and
we're
I
gonna
said
look
this.
good
Like,
when
oh,
there's
right.
multiple of my face at this event. What's your hot takes, Jack? I know you got some of them, man. You rolled through a bunch
Again,
of them this morning.
did. I rolled through a bunch of them this morning. I'll try not to repeat myself. I am on that Kyler train this year. I'm on the Josh Allen train this year in terms of being a top. I don't think he's going to be an MVP candidate. I don't think he'll be that flashy or that star-studded. But I think Josh Allen is going to be one of the best players, one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL this year.
Guaranteed top 5 fantasy this year, yeah?
Oh, that's easy. I think that should be a lock. Again, there's going to be a lot of guys right there, but with what he can do on his feet, I'm very excited to see. I will say I think Tampa Bay Buccaneers are heading to the Super Bowl. I think they will lose in the Super Bowl to the Kansas City Chiefs, but I think the Buccaneers are heading to the Super Bowl.
Which is a Super Bowl victory for Tampa fans at this point.
You're lucky Roy is here right now. I had something to say to you
So
right
many
there. I had something
4-letter
to
words
say
for
about
Jack's head.
that. Yeah, two of them. There's 2 words. You
I
know what
love
they are.
you.
That's 3. It's not it's the opposite of love. You wouldn't know, Roy. Earmuffs.
I can't.
What?
There's earbuds in my muffs.
Feel free to throw some out there, guys, if you got some. But
I got a good one that involves the Bucks that might help them get there.
Oh, here we go.
As we all know, the Bucks suck at finding kickers. Jason Light never spent a draft pick on a kicker. And we know they got some veteran right now that can't even think of the top of my head. He's gonna
Ryan,
fail.
suck up.
It's just about the head. He's gonna suck up in Raymond James Stadium because there's a curse there. But maybe there's one guy. Maybe there's one guy that can fix that curse. Maybe there's a guy that has a history with that coaching staff. Maybe there's a guy that has not announced his retirement yet, and he played with the quarterback in Tampa Bay back in the day. He helped them win Super Bowls. I'm saying at some point this year, Adam Vinatieri is going to join the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and he will be their kicker.
Oh, you just made Jack got goose pimples right there. Jack got goose pimples right there.
I don't know. Last time he was on the field, he sucked too. He was sucking.
Yeah, but he was hurt. He was hurt. So
He's
that's why
also
he's
like
not signed
70
right
years
now.
old.
Dude, Jack Santa still gets
He's
it
older
done.
than Rob.
That's true, but barely. We were in the same school. I love Jack Santa Claus, bro. I'm good with Jack Santa coming back. It's better than Ryan Suck Up, so can't be mad at
Hey,
that.
that's Mr. Irrelevant, Mr. Suck Up.
Mr. Suck Up, Mr. Irrelevant. Roy, you got a hot take for us? I know we got more. I got here.
I got a couple here for you. Let me drop them on you. First one.
Did you just make it? Was that a OBJ joke? Did
Maybe.
Roy make an
Is that
OBJ
number
joke?
5? It's number 5.
Okay. The Jacksonville Jaguars will not receive the number 1 overall pick.
Ooh.
Who will?
The Chicago Bears.
Atlanta
Terrible.
Falcons.
What?
What?
No.
What? There's no way, bro.
I mean, it would have to be the biggest implosion of their franchise.
Atlanta
Which
Falcons.
they have many implosions all the time.
dude, the Falcons
Exactly.
backups are going to win more games than the Jags starters, homeboy.
We'll see.
There's a better
We'll
chance
see.
the Jags get 0 wins than they don't get the number 1
Jacksonville
Jags
Jaguars
still
will
draft
not-
very well. They
not
have a
have
lot
the-
of good players on that
They
team.
they're sneaky good with young talent.
pick. The Jags
DJ
are a
Chark.
farm system for the rest of the NFL
Dude,
at this
that-
point.
That is
Same.
that is-
Jacksonville
Yeah.
Jaguars will not be the number 1 pick next year.
I guarantee I'm right there with you. But
So-
it's damn sure ain't gonna be the Atlanta Falcons.
Falcons.
Just throwing a name out there. Carolina Panthers could be in there.
I'm the Bears. Me and Jack did the whole season today. The Bears are terrible, and the schedule is not good at all.
I still lean Jacksonville, but I am fine with this pick because that means the prodigy, the child prodigy himself, doesn't go to my division. We already had to deal with Deshaun Watson. I don't want to deal with Trevor Lawrence and Deshaun Watson for the next decade.
Oh my
Okay,
god!
so that was my first one. Second one, I kind of already mentioned it here. The New England Patriots will finish 3rd in the AFC East this year.
Throw a number on it. What do you think that record is? Because me and Jack, what do we have him at, Jack? 7-9,
6
Not
and
today.
10.
6-10.
I'm gonna say 6 and 10.
That's right about where me and Jack had him.
Yep, 6 and 10. And Buffalo and Miami will both finish with better records than them. The other one I already kind of alluded to, Lamar Jackson will not start more than 12 games this season due to injury. Madden curse for 1, 2, I just don't like the durability, especially going full bore here. Then my final one, if you want me to throw it out there, and we're going to go all homer on you here, this one has a lot of caveats in. First of all, Big Ben makes his triumphant return. He leads the league in passing yards, and he gets us to the Super Bowl and defeats Jack's Tampa Bay Buccaneers with a strip sack from T.J. Watt, who will break the single-season sack rusher record.
Roy's just down here like, I'm going to get it to the finite detail, and it's a strip sack, Super Bowl.
If that
we won't
happens,
win.
they're
13
cutting that.
seconds left in the 4th quarter of the Super Bowl.
Right.
Donovan Smith is gonna blow the block, and
Roy's
Derek
out
Watt.
here dropping
TJ
Super Bowl
Watt, whichever
prop bets
Watt brother it
before
is.
Week 1, dude. What the that's a prop bet, and Roy's giving it to you already here. So I
Take
can
it up,
see it though, man.
fellas.
I told Jack this morning, Roy, that I think Big Ben throws 4 touchdowns this week just out the gate, just to show the arm is good and he's back and Pittsburgh's for real. Give me 4 touchdowns out the gate for Big Ben,
It's
maybe
the
a 5th.
Giants. That's not saying anything though.
It will ease some of your concern to
It
see
will.
how
Yeah,
effortlessly he throws
I want
this
to see
ball.
how he throws.
Yes.
Yeah, I need to see. I don't even care
They
who
said
it's
it's-
against.
They said he's the best he's been throwing probably in 5 years.
Time of the year. Yeah, so I've been
All
in
right.
the best shape of my life too.
I got two more hot takes.
Hit me.
Jonathan Taylor will win the rushing title this year.
Ooh.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire will lead the league in all-purpose yards over Christian McCaffrey.
Wow.
Double rookie.
Double rookie.
Jeez. It's getting deep.
How
in
about
here.
this? Darius Leonard going super homer, but he was my defensive player of the year pick. Breaks the tackle record this season because of DeVorce Buckner up front. He's going to allow him to roam free. And if it's not the tackle record, it's going to be something insane, like the first linebacker with like 100-something plus tackles, 7 interceptions, like 5 sacks, something stupid like that.
I love Darius Leonard so much. Like I'm very much fine with that, dude. So very fine with him doing that. Like he reminds me, like I love him like I loved London Fletcher back in the day. Like that was my dude. Darius Leonard is my new London Fletcher man crush. Absolutely love that guy.
I want to
If we're going-
counter off that. Here's another hot take for you. Levante David will blow away Darius Leonard's stat line in multiple aspects outside of the tackling, and will get 0 Pro Bowl votes. Just gonna throw that out there.
That's not
Will
a
he get more? Will he get more
For the
MVP
year.
votes than Russ Wilson?
That's water's wet.
Water's wet, he says.
No
Water's
shit.
wet. Hot take there, guys.
Water's wet.
No, I'll say this, and if I don't feed off my Colts, I'm gonna say Rock Ya-Sin is gonna put himself in top 10 cornerback conversation.
Forgot about Rocky Sin for a
That's
second.
my boy. I love that guy. When I was
Like,
He had-
that name slipped me all preseason long, and not that I forgot about who he was, but I just haven't heard much about him.
Yeah, I wrote about him in the preview for the Colts, and you open that section up when you get off of here, Jack. But
Oh, I definitely
no,
will.
he had his
Haven't
you
got
know-
to that far outside of the book yet.
he had his up and downs last year, but he was on every receiver's hip, and if he can just get a little bit more of the mental aspect down, turn his head around a little bit quicker, I think he has what it takes to be a man-to-man stick on his hip type of corner. And
We
be in
got
the
any hot take award winners? Maybe Justin Jefferson wins a Rookie of the Year instead of a Jonathan Taylor or something? Or what do you think here?
I'm trying to think some dark horse guys.
I think Big Ben could be a dark horse MVP contender if he comes out, slings the rock, and Pittsburgh goes 13-3.
I'll go ahead and say it because I did the Bucks one and I said he has what it takes to be a honey badger in Todd Bowles' defense, and Antoine Winfield Jr. He was just named in the starting role. I think he's going to be used in a variety of ways. He's going to create turnovers for that defense because that Bucks defensive front is so great that he doesn't have to make plays. Like, he can fly over the field. So that's my pick for defensive rookie of the year.
Sleeper D.
Go
Yeah.
ahead.
I'll throw you another sleeper one out there. Joe Burrow will have better statistics than Baker Mayfield this year.
Oh, I threw that one out there this morning saying that Joe Burrow is going to break the rookie touchdown
He's going to
record.
be good.
I mean,
think
this season.
How can
Yeah,
he not be? He's got a good offensive line. He's got Joe Mixon, and he's got
Tyler Boyd is the one that's
The
going to be
second-
blowing up this
the
year.
second deepest wide receiver group, maybe third.
Man, I would love to get them to get a good I mean, I know they got, what's his name? CJ Ush, whatever that tight end is. He's all right. I want to see him get a. Yeah, I would like to see them move like John Ross for a tight end or something. I'm sorry, I'm not a Ross guy.
Tampa
at all.
Bay's got a lot of them, so maybe they'll come off one.
Oh, yeah, get a little Cameron Braid mixed in there.
There you go.
Let's go.
Any more hot takes, guys? We got about
We
a
just
minute
freed
and
up
a half.
10 million. He's not for sale.
He's not for sale.
Oh, they're all.
Unless
That's
we
the
need
thing.
a cap
It's
space.
all
Unless we need
in.
cap space, he's not for sale.
Actually, know who has to move money to buy tomorrow is your Rams.
Yeah,
Who put Gerald
400,000.
Everett? Put Gerald Everett in that Cincinnati offense right now. Do they got a connection?
Might as
Sean
well. You already
McVay.
drafted like an identical tight end.
And we paid Higbee. Yeah, I could see a little G Eve move, but
That would actually mean smart general managing.
Yeah.
So we know that's not going to happen.
the Rams
He
don't
probably-
tend to do trades unless we're giving up a first round pick, though. So a little hard.
Maybe you'll tag
Yeah,
us.
you gotta
first
wait a
rounder
few more years till you-
2028.
Yeah, you got to wait a few years till you have a first round pick to trade. So
Right. I'll be a grandfather by the time the Rams pick in the first round again. So,
Or till Blitz is running the front office. Just saying.
Mayock's doing okay. So, we got about 30 seconds here. You've heard all the hot takes. We could manufacture some more. The ones I'm most on board with that I heard, I loved Mayo's Darius Leonard. I'm all aboard Joe Burrow breaking that record as well. I don't know what the hell Roy was talking about with pinpointing T.J. Watt strip sack for a Super Bowl victory. That is,
but what if it
brave.
happens?
Dude,
That'll
if
be
it
better. That'll
happens,
be better if that happens. That's better than your Ryan Tannehill will replace Marcus Mariota and then take them to the playoffs. Which, if you do not believe me, go back and listen to the Blitz breakdown. That damn cartoon looking thing right there said it.
I did. I said it, and
He
I
said
said
it.
it. So,
He does have a brain.
yeah.
There's
think
something behind that cartoon, I promise.
Damn right, much like Wizard of Oz.
Not wearing pants.
even if my cartoon stood up, just
Neither am I,
DVDs,
shit.
baby, just DVDs. Well, that's gonna do it. You heard it. We wrapped up 4
Welcome
quarters
to
and an
the after
overtime.
hour.
Yeah. We finally got happy on the happy hour, that's for sure.
Yeah, tune
No
in
drinks
live for that
necessary.
live stream after midnight where we'll be listening to WAP on repeat. Special guest Odell Beckham Jr. Let's
that
go.
off.
I will be
Keep
praying
that
for
off.
all of
you
you.
keep that off all Blitz stations. You ever say that word again, you have issues.
Oh, we're going to go
Or
around
that
the horn. We'll say our
abbreviation.
goodbyes. I'm going to start up north with you, Jack. Say your goodbyes, where they can follow you. Plug what you'd like to plug, my man.
Swear to God, Rob, I swear, you ever bring up WAP again, you got issues.
I dropped
got it.
6 fecal jokes about Odell Beckham Jr.
I don't
One
care.
drop
That's
about
fine.
WAP,
That's
and
great.
Jack's done for the night.
One WAP, we have issues. This is a family show, all right? Anyways, please go buy this book or check this book out at blitzlytics.com/shop. The Prospect Encyclopedia 2020 edition. It's amazing, 418 pages, 700 plus prospects, right up for every one of these individuals. We got quite a few of them right. I'm very proud to say that we had, what was it, 73.5% spot on plus, and that's not even talking about projections, just the top 22 players that we wrote about. 73.5% of them either made or definitely made the roster, and then we also have injuries and stuff like that. So we're probably pushing in the 80-85% range if you start factoring in actual predictions and then injuries and stuff like that. So an amazing book. If you pride yourself on knowing football and knowing sports, then this is the best tool you could possibly buy.
I can't advocate more for anything than that. Jack's 100% right. Run out and get that book, blitzalytics.com/shop. Only $35 for the hard copy, $15 for the PDF, $5 for an individual team. That means you can get that and a sandwich from Subway for a total of $10 right now. Mayo, I come to you to say your goodbyes.
Yeah, Jack explained it perfectly. Just to add on it, what that 73.5% guys was, it was on the initial roster, the initial cut down day. That doesn't count for guys that opted out or were on IR. And it was just specifically for what team they made in the book. So there are guys that got traded or moved to different rosters. So that number is outstanding. And we're seeing all the guys on the practice squad. So you want to know about the next wave of talent that's going to help your team compete. If a guy goes down, if a guy gets released or traded, this is what this bad boy is all about. I want to thank everybody that's sung praises about it over the past week, that's bought the book, that's reaching out to us.
Dude, the freaking Senior Bowl shared it for. Oh man, proud moment.
That was
there.
all. But yeah, I'll go ahead and get my stuff plugged really quick. Guys, make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel. Make sure you follow Facebook and Twitter. Me and Rob's new fantasy show will debut tomorrow morning. It's the Fantasy Voyage. I cannot wait to get back on talking fantasy football with you, Rob. If you guys have missed it, the Cody Talks NFL show is back. That's on YouTube. It's also on the Blitzalytics Podcast Network. So make sure you subscribe to everything Blitzalytics. My Bucks article will be coming out probably Thursday or Friday. It's here, guys. It's football. I'm ready to be in the swing of things. So I'm beyond excited, man, that football's here.
Football! Yeah, baby. Football. It's finally here. Roy, say your goodbyes, man.
Are you ready for some football? Yeah. So, guys, I can't talk anything more about the Prospect Encyclopedia. My two cohorts here that had a part in writing it, they hit the nail on the head. Other than I just want to say, go out and buy it. If you know somebody likes football, go buy them a PDF or buy them a hard copy. And if you really like it, send it back to Jack or one of us, and we'll sign it for you if you really want to. But, no, this is really helping build our brand. Personal plug, my Steel City sermon will be starting by the end of the week here. Be looking for that live on our YouTube channel. As Cody said, make sure you subscribe to that. Turn on the little bell for notifications. That way, when we're going live, which you'll be seeing a lot of this season with our video content, we're trying to do live video stuff for you. Make sure you check that out. If you want to @ me on Twitter, it's @PreacherBoyRoy. Check out 24/7 Sports as well. Also, a quick shout out to Matt Miller. If you see me kind of playing around over here, I was on one of his fantasy leagues tonight drafting. If you have a spare couple bucks, go over and hit up his 417 Foundation. They help out a lot of great kids and teachers and everything in that community. So go over and donate to him. I know he would definitely appreciate it. And as always, guys, stay humble, be a blessing.
Yeah, and I do want to talk about that. I happen to live in Springfield, Missouri, the 417 of the 417 Foundation. Cody spent many years here as well. That 417 Foundation is legit. They do great work for us here in the Springfield and Ozark area. We just want to thank Matt so much. He's done so much for this area. So, again, if you have a couple shekels to spare, obviously, I'm always an advocate for the 417 Foundation. I'd like to take the opportunity, though, to plug this merch. You see my cartoon? Roy, flash that shirt again, baby. Stay humble, be a blessing. The man wearing his own face on his shirt, that's got to feel good. You can go over to buyjack.com/collection/blitzalytics or /RobRobGraphics. Get yourself one of these new shirts. We also have a mask available to you. Since you got to be masked up, you might as well be masked up in style. I want to thank these three for joining me. I'd like to thank all our listeners and our viewers for tuning in live. Like all of them said, please hit that subscribe notification icon as well so that you're ready to go every week when we hit you live, Tuesdays, Tuesdays with the football happy hour. We've got, you heard the Blitz Breakdown today was on YouTube for the first time. Cody Talks NFL is back. Steel City Sermon is back. Whispers of a couple of other shows as well. Blitzalytics will be providing you 2-3 uploads on most days moving forward. So hit that notification icon to stay up to date with it. And again, we thank you so much for tuning in. This has been Football Happy Hour presented by Blitzalytics.com. And we look forward to talking to you again next Tuesday.